The CoDE project was a call for applications for innovative ideas to the Center for Innovation, where these applications would be funded and partnered with the Center for Innovation, both our designers, our IT's expertise, as well as the leadership. And at that time, Gianrico Ferrugia asked me if I'd like to join the culture and competency team, and that was my first opportunity to get to know him, really. But as we had a chance to work together, one of the assignments to the culture and competency group was to create what traditionally had from Dr. LaRusso, and an effort that would be identified as RFA process. And by RFA, it was a request for applications of interesting or innovative ideas. So having worked with the designers, I really started thinking about how we could maybe make that more accessible to everyone at the clinic, rather than an RFA has implication in my mind more to physicians and research scientists. So by working together with Gianrico and the team, we started thinking about how could we make this a very flat application process throughout everyone at the entire Mayo Clinic. And I started doing a lot of research of what other institutions and other programs were doing around the country, and that really led to maybe thinking about having an application that was available to everyone, that led to the CoDE initiative. We aligned all of the applications with the current platforms. Part of that was to have direct partnership with members and ongoing efforts within the Center for Innovation. But also my second goal was really to elevate what was currently going on within the Center for Innovation. So with those two types of background pieces of information, we had first just a very straightforward one-page application that was online where they could submit these ideas. And then we had two additional stages where they went through presenting a 5-minute pitch, if you will, of their idea to the leadership of the Center for Innovation. And the first application process had 104 applications, the majority of which were actually non-physician, which really met the goal initially I had of getting to people outside of the traditional physician and scientist. So I was really excited about that, to get to a wide variety of ideas. Then they developed those applications more fully into 5-page applications that had specific deliverables. From that group, we chose a subset that were then asked to develop the whole 5-page application process, and then we selected the final 10 that received the funding, which was $50,000 for each application.
This is the first time, to my knowledge, that we've ever had the equivalent of a request for application or request for proposals that have not only gone across all geographic components of the institution, Rochester, Jacksonville, Scottsdale, and the Mayo Health System, but every employee in the institution.
We've learned a lot from the first iteration of the CoDE innovation process, but one of the follow-up tools that we'll be using is at what point we really engage the leadership that is associated with the project, because it's important that their awareness is that the proper resources are given to the person within the department, and then on occasion there might have been roadblocks that the person was not aware of, so that we can make sure we're not trying to skirt some real insights at their own leadership. So that engagement of early engagement of the leadership within the proponent's area is probably the key to the implementation challenges that we've met so far. But through the I think strength of NIT's leadership, as well as other members of the Center for Innovation, we really helped to navigate a lot of those challenges by just a lot of conversations and building relationships with these departments. I've been at Mayo for about 20 years now, and in my opinion, there's through the crowdsourcing ideas that we've developed, instead of having what I think has been a traditional hierarchical structure that goes to a point and there's a limited amount, we're creating networks that can always grow. And the CFI has really promoted that concept. Because networks can grow in an infinite fashion, whereas if you funnel energy to a hierarchy, there's a limited, finite amount that you only have. So that idea, I don't think has, in my opinion, ever been more powerful than I've seen within the Center for Innovation.